What is good, all you Dolphins fans out there? So, not only did the drafting of Liam Eichenberg give the Dolphins a potential long-term starting tackle, but it also gives the Dolphins a prospect who can play at least 4 positions on the offensive line, and that's the kind of versatility that this Dolphins brass values a lot. According to a recent report out there, Eichenberg is going to be given a chance to compete to start at right tackle, and some people in Dolphins believe he can handle that job immediately, but nobody will know until the pads are put on in training camp in August. If he performs well during training camp, he's going to be the front runner to start at right tackle. It's also being said that Solomon Kinley is going to be moving from right guard to left guard, the position that he played at Georgia. And I think that's definitely the best move for Kinley because I thought he played tremendously well at left guard. And where exactly does that leave Jesse Davis? The expectation is that he's going to have a chance to compete with Kinley at left guard. He could also be needed at right tackle if Eichenberg, struggles in training camp and fails to hold down that right tackle spot. And as for DJ Fluker, the free agent signee we signed a couple of weeks ago, he could settle into a role as a number 3 swing tackle to back up left tackle Austin Jackson and Eichenberg. Fluker could as well compete for the 2 guard spots, so we're incredibly deep. We've got a number of guys that are going to be competing all across the line. I think the only position that could be somewhat set in stone at the moment is Matt Skura at center. I think no one's going to compete with Skura for the center position, so yeah, that's the only position I could see being set in stone moving into training camp. And for now, it seems like Robert Hunt is going to be the front runner at right guard. The Dolphins, it seems like, have decided to move him from right tackle into the right guard position. Jesse Davis did say last year that he took some snaps at center in the off-season workouts. Perhaps the Dolphins could give that another look. It could be an experiment that they could look into during training camp if, Matt Skura is injured, because he has had some knee problems, so hopefully Skura can be healthy for the Dolphins this season. And Michael Dieter, he's also going to return as the backup center / guard, but to this point, there's no plan in place to have Jesse Davis at center as it currently stands. But yeah, Michael Dieter, I'm excited to see what he's going to look like in year 3, and, if he's taken the next step in his development to, mold himself into a respectable professional NFL offensive lineman. The Dolphins also think pretty highly of Middle Tennessee State guard / tackle Robert Jones, who was given $130,000 guaranteed, which is a huge amount of money for an undrafted rookie. Most guys get $50,000 or $60,000 guaranteed as an undrafted rookie, or like $80,000, $100K. But yeah, that's a huge number right there, and that shows, what they think of Jones's ability. He could emerge as a factor at guard. Liam Eichenberg, he played left tackle in college, but evaluators believe he can easily make the transition to right tackle, as many college left tackles do. Brian Baldinger of NFL Network had this to say of Eichenberg: every single left tackle for the Irish has gone on to the NFL and become an all-pro tackle. This guy can play guard, he can play tackle. You turn on any game and this guy shows up. Against Clemson, the playoff game, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of good tape from this left tackle and in the history of left tackles at Notre Dame, so that's high praise right there from Baldy. So in one scenario, the Dolphins could have 4 first or second year players starting on the offensive line: Jackson and Eichenberg at tackle, Hunt and Kinley at guard. And he's hoping those second year guys are going to make a jump, because we're going to need it if this offensive line is going to get the job down for this offense. And honestly, another scenario I could see playing out is if Austin Jackson doesn't take the next step in his second season, the Dolphins could try Eichenberg at left tackle, his position that he played at Notre Dame all 3 years. But according to this report, that's not the thinking at this point from what the report's saying. And just quickly, on the decision to move off of Eric Flowers, Brian Flores said this: "You mentioned Eric Flowers, and those are hard decisions to make. We made them with the idea and the intent to play some of the younger guys you mentioned, Solomon and Robert. Not to get into the weeds with this, but we felt pretty comfortable that we were going to be able to get a couple offensive linemen in the draft," end quote for Coach Flo. Miami did that by drafting Eichenberg in the second round, 42nd overall, and tackle Larnell Coleman, a 7th round pick that some expected to be available much earlier on day 3. And as it stands, Larnell Coleman is expected to work at right tackle initially, and we'll see where that goes for him. I think they're probably going to stash him on the practice squad, and yeah, we'll see what Coleman can turn into during his NFL career. So just some other news here. The Dolphins are bringing in former first round safety Malik Hooker, and obviously they're not done retooling the safety room at this point. 3 days after drafting Oregon's Javon Holland with a 36th pick, the Dolphins decided to bring in Malik Hooker for a free agent visit, the NFL Network reported today. Hooker, he started 14 games for the Colts in 2018 and 13 in 2019 and intercepted 2 passes in each of his first 2 seasons. He started the first 2 games for the Colts last season and then tore his Achilles in September 20th against the Vikings, which obviously ended his season. You know, no one's going to play with a torn Achilles. It's literally impossible. The Colts did select him 15th overall out of Ohio State in 2017, 2 months after he underwent surgery to repair a hernia and a torn labrum. So obviously, he came into the league with a ton of injury concerns, and that's just continued throughout his professional career. He tore an ACL 7 games into his rookie season, and he's missed 29 games in 4 seasons. So it's no wonder the Colts moved off him. He is talented. I do like his game, but man, he's had a litany of injuries that have hampered his professional career, and God, hopefully he can work out for the Dolphins. We'll see what's going to happen. They haven't offered him a contract, but like Hooker said on Twitter, late in the afternoon, he said that he doesn't know of a contract at the moment. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. The Dolphins have already got 7 safeties on the roster. Starters Bobby McCain and Eric Rowe, Brandon Jones, who we took in the 3rd round last year, Javon Holland, Clayton Fejedelem, Nate Holley, and Brian Cole, who spent last season on the practice squad. And Hooker, in the NFL, he's played a lot of free safety, and that's a job that Bobby McCain handled last season. But if he doesn't press the Dolphins, I could see the team bringing him in, on like a veteran minimum contract, and seeing what he can do for us moving forward. Because I think he'd be an upgrade over Bobby McCain, even though he's not a great tackler, he's not very physical, but as a free safety, as a ball hawk, he's incredibly talented, and he went 15th overall in 2017, so yeah, he's got a ton of talent. And as for Bobby McCain, $6.4 million of his 2021 contract isn't guaranteed, and if he's cut after June 1st, Miami would have $750,000 in dead money, but would be saving $6.4 million on the cap. But I don't think the Dolphins are going to move off McCain this year. I think we're going to keep him around another season, and I think that Javon Holland will be taking over full-time in 2022. Who knows, he might even be the starter for 2021 on the back end, and because Javon is incredibly talented. And as for Eric Rowe, he's got a base salary of $2.5 million, which isn't guaranteed at all. If he's cut after June 1st, Miami would have $525,000 in dead money, and we'd save $5.5 million in cap savings. So we can save over $11 million if we cut those 2 guys, but that's not going to happen. Eric Rowe was very good against tight ends in 14 games last season, but he did struggle against Travis Kelce and the Raiders' Darren Waller, but you can't hold that against him. Every other tight end he went up against, he shut them down. Going up against George Kittle, he did a great job in coverage. But I think Eric Rowe and McCain are going to be safe for this season. I think that we're going to keep those guys around, and we're going to have an incredibly tough, physical and deep safety room with McCain and Rowe and second-year player Brandon Jones and Javon Holland coming in. We're 4 deep at safety, and we're going to be more than capable of defending offenses in 2021 because, that's a very solid safety room, and I'm very confident that those guys can get it done. As it stands, we've got $10.3 million in cap space, and that's barely enough to sign our draft class at the moment. So I think a couple of guys that are going to get cut is probably Albert Wilson, possibly Jakeem Grant, maybe Jesse Davis, but I think Coach Flo loves Davis too much to let him go. But a couple of veterans definitely going to get cut during the course of training camp or, before the start of the regular season, because we're going to need a couple more million to, give us some cushion and give us room to sign this draft class. Alrighty guys, just a quick little update here. Just giving my thoughts on this update on Liam Eichenberg and just this report here on how the Dolphins are going to fit in Eichenberg to this offensive line puzzle. And also the news of Dolphins bringing in Malik Hooker. We'll see if they're going to sign him to a cheap contract to give us even more talent in that safety room. But at this point, I don't think it's going to get done, but you never know. Alrighty guys, that's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, if you've been liking the content. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. And as always, it's fins up, baby. Cheers guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.